Hi, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us with Simply Young's Business Building with Linda Dunn, who is the founder of A Sage Perspective. She's our business coach, and she's been in the business for almost 25 years with direct selling. So we're very lucky to have her. And tonight's topic is going to be becoming a confident, natural seller. Welcome to the show tonight, Linda.
Thank you very much, Katie. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll go ahead and get your slideshow going here. So,
Wonderful.
there we go. Okay.
All right, off I go.
Yes. Alrighty, so go ahead and let's get started. I think this is such a great topic for so many of our people because
hmm
I think there's a real fear of selling when, in fact, I think people don't really realize what it really is and stuff. So I'm excited for you to go into this topic. So.
Me too. And as I said, it's one of my favorite topics. We and I were chatting. I love this topic, and I love the approach that I'm going to present tonight. Because you're right. In the beginning, especially when you're just getting your you know getting started with business and you're learning about the products, and sometimes we can get tongue-tied when we want to share it with other people. So I'm going to share an approach tonight that I think everyone can adapt to, and it will make them feel confident and, and as a result of that, more successful in their presentation of the product. So let's get underway. I'm calling it becoming a confident natural seller because I believe that comes from truly having a desire to serve and allowing your clients to really kind of sell themselves on the features and the benefits of the products that you represent. In other words, letting go of tactics like persuading or talking someone into a sale or a promotion or a decision. Just letting go of that completely. Instead, leading with the benefits and the solutions that our products represent, and then simply providing the answers to any questions or concerns that your clients might have. I call this the magic and power of dialogue, and we're going to talk about that tonight. It makes the difference, I believe, between a negative or a positive outcome every time. So let's begin with the first step of getting to know all you need to know about our wonderful products and how they serve and change the lives of others. Slide 2 is become a product of the product. Being knowledgeable, that's what that means. Being knowledgeable about your product. Because when you're knowledgeable, it's powerful. And that feeling of being powerful gives you confidence. Kind of knowing what you're talking about, in other words. So it's so important to be a product of the product because that confidence from that knowledge leads ultimately to your success. So when I say becoming a product of the product, to me that means experiencing the product for yourself. And I know that goes without saying, but not trying the products or not having experienced the product kind of puts you at a disadvantage. So first and foremost, be a product of the product. Experience the product yourself so that you can share it with others. Then it's time to leverage that experience, the results you're getting, that experience you're having with the product. You can take that and then leverage it to help others because now you're coming from a place of actual results that you could stand behind. And more importantly, you can speak authentically about. And then when you do speak authentically, your credibility shines through. People recognize that. They absolutely recognize when you're speaking from experience, not just from something you've read or saw on the label of a product. It's something you are intimately familiar with. Slide 4 is about our principles of success. And I want to add this because I use these principles in every part of our business of direct selling, and they couldn't apply more to the product itself. So the principles that I'm talking about are service, trust, authenticity, integrity, and respect. When you are operating in those principles, coming from a place of those principles, each of them apply to every area of the business, but first and foremost, they apply to the products. You can use those words and those principles to describe the quality of the products that you represent, because your products are your first introduction to your prospective clients and your prospective team members in many cases. So stand behind your products, stand behind the business, operate from a place of service, being trustworthy, being yourself, being real, being authentic, leading with integrity, doing what you say you do, and respect. Respect for your product, your company, and respect for your customers. Okay? The next thing that will happen is you're going to become known as the problem solver. You're going to get a reputation as the problem solver for those who could really use your help with their health, with their image, any areas that they're struggling with. Being the go-to person for information about nutrition, about skincare, etc. When you're that go-to person, when word gets around that you really know what you're talking about, and you may have a solution for someone who may have a problem, that's going to open doors and create a tremendous attraction, if you will. People will be attracted to you. They're going to want to talk to you because you may have helped a friend or someone they know, and they want the same kind of resolution or solution for themselves. So it's great to have that reputation as the problem solver. Next, let's talk about using the resources to become knowledgeable. And you have so many resources. Katie has provided you with so many opportunities here to become familiar and become expert, if you will, at the products you represent. Use them. Use the resources available to learn all you can about Simply Young and about all of Simply Young's products. I'm sure there's probably a library of information either in your back office or certainly can be provided by the company. You have certainly a lot of presentations and these types of calls to listen to. So the information is there. You simply need to grab it and run with it. Make time each week to learn more about the benefits, the ingredients, the results that each product brings to your clients. Attend the meetings and the trainings. Pick up tips and information from people you meet at those events, and then incorporate those into your presentation. Watch social media for Facebook threads, etc., for tips and ideas around the products. Learn from others. Learn from those who have gone before you that have had great results. Pick their brains. Make contact. Use all the resources available to you. So let's move into the actual product conversation. Let's talk about that. I sincerely believe that the outcome of every sales conversation is mostly dependent on your intent and the process you use to communicate. If, for example, you have the intent or personal agenda of what's in it for me, and use the process of persuasion, or negative outcomes are more likely than positive ones. If you're talking someone into something, what would be the result? In a lot of cases, it's buyer's remorse or second thoughts, or they're indecisive about whether they want to continue or not. On the other hand, if you come truly having the intent or purpose of how can I help you? How can I help this individual? And take the time to discover their needs through asking questions, listening and responding to those real needs of your clients, every outcome will be positive. And it's easy, it really is. Simply view selling as a problem-solving exercise and put the spotlight on your client. So what does that product presentation dialogue sound like? Well, first it has three parts. The first part is asking questions. Second part is listening to the response with the intent to understand. And the third part is constantly clarifying by feeding back what you think you heard. Asking questions, listening to the response, and clarifying by feeding back what you think you heard. Remember, your client will make a decision based on feelings, how they feel about themselves, how they feel about you, and how they feel about what your products can do to solve a problem or feel a desire to feel and look better. The secret to this dialogue is to let your prospective client persuade or sell themselves. As your prospect hears herself responding to your questions and then feels the effects her answers may have on her self-image or self-confidence, those feelings will encourage her or him to take and make a change and then to take action. If you're truly listening to that individual in front of you, the solution you offer will be positively received. Now, I want to give you an example, and then if we have other time for other examples, Katie, maybe you and I can brainstorm one. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about with these three steps. Okay.
Okay.
Question. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm talking to Mary. Mary, how are you feeling about the condition of your skin? Answer. It's okay. I'm a bit concerned that I'm starting to see more wrinkles, and it seems a little drier than in the past. Response. I understand. So what I'm hearing is that you're concerned about some of the processes our skin goes through as we age. Is that right? Now it's time for Mary to respond. Yes, I know it's natural to get older, but all of a sudden I'm starting to really notice the signs, and it makes me feel older than I am. Response. I understand that. We feel young and vibrant inside, and we want our skin to reflect it as well, right? Mary says, I would love a solution to that. You're absolutely right. So that opens the door to perhaps, a further discussion, a suggestion of a product that you want to share with Mary that will benefit her. She's expressed her needs. You reflected back what you heard. You were right on target. So now she's really interested, and she's waiting to hear what the solution might be. Okay? Does that make sense? Katie, can you relate to that? Is that a process that makes sense with respect to Simply Young's product?
Absolutely, absolutely, because I feel like this process is, when you put it in that way, asking a question, listening to their response with the intention of truly understanding it, and then you just clarifying it, but with your feedback. I think people really feel like you're really listening to them and you really do care, and that's what we're really about. Because I feel that sometimes, people aren't really concerned about you as much as they want to create something to happen, like an actual a sale or something like that. And we're so not about that. And I see that everybody that I've seen come into this company really does care truly. Not only, I mean, they may have come in for the products, but they've realized how much it means to them. And because almost everybody that I've seen is a product of the product, seriously. And so I
Beautiful.
feel like this is such a great logical step for them. So thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. And it's not that we're not going to approach and talk about the products. We're just adding a couple of steps in advance of that. So at some point, I would say to Mary, I would love to share some products that would address the concerns that you expressed today. May I make a suggestion? And that's when Mary would say, well, sure, I'd like a solution. I really do want a solution. and then that opens the door. So it's just a little preliminary connecting, relationship building, and then opening the door for a solution. So yeah, thanks, Katie, for that. So let's move now into the difference between benefits and features. We sometimes get lost in this area. So I wanted to clarify the difference between a benefit and a feature. Benefits, in my opinion, sell products when you're offering a solution or a benefit to someone. Features are important, but don't make all the difference in terms of the sale. So benefits sell. Just keep that in mind. So what I mean by that is a feature is something that describes your products, for example, the ingredients, maybe a promotion, special pricing, a feature such as cruelty-free policy that you have, a price point, the size, the dimension. Those are all features, and they're all important because they describe in more detail what the product is. But when you're talking about your products, be sure that you're creating pictures for your clients by using the benefits of a product. That's very, very important to use the benefits to share the benefits with your clients. So I'm going to give you an example of and what the benefit is and what's in it for them in a particular product. I'm going to go through. I picked 3 of your products, Katie,
Oh, good.
and feel free to add some value here, wherever you choose. But I started with the longevity pad because I happen to own that, and I love it. So a feature of that pad might be a comfortable pad, 14 inches by 28 inches by 2 inches, right? Patented cellulant technology, I can't pronounce it very well,
Brilliant.
cellulant technology, excuse me. Those are features of that pad. But the benefit of the pad is that it's designed to increase oxygen circulation and neutralize pH balance. So that's a real benefit, and you could list other benefits of that pad as well. But you see the difference between a feature and a benefit, right?
Yes.
So let's move on to the longevity calcium shake, also a product I really love. So the features of that product might be it contains delicious organic coconut and banana, essential vitamins. It's non-GMO and it's gluten-free. Those are all great features, right? But the benefit, it's formulated to help increase bone mineral density. That's the benefit. And that's what your client will remember before the ingredients, probably. And I picked one more, Youth Dew Cleanser. And this is one I have to get. I don't have it quite yet. A feature might be natural form made with pure plant extracts and oils for all skin types. Those are great features. The benefit, however, is pH balances the skin for a glowing finish, dissolves makeup and excess surface oil, and helps prevent future breakouts. You see where I'm going there? That's what your client will take away. If they're having issues with their skin, that's the important part. It's going to help prevent future breakouts. You get the idea. So an action step for you would be to make a list of the features of all your products, and of course many of those are in the catalog itself on the website. But then next to those features, write the list of benefits to the person. Remember, people buy emotionally. So as you go through your products and list the features and benefits, remember to listen to the needs of your clients next time, and then offer a solution with the benefits of the products that the products provide. If you have them all listed out and you're prepared, you'll be able then to share those benefits with your clients. And remember, that's what they're going to remember. It's what's in it for them. What's the benefit? Another action step for you would be to create what I call emotionally charged benefit statements about Simply Young and our products. People, again, shop and purchase emotionally. So create statements that draw out the emotional benefits of a product. I love and I took these out of your catalog. Um, I love this benefit statement. Simply Young products help you feel younger from the inside out. That's a powerful statement. When I hear that, I want that. I want that. Or here's another one. Simply Young's mission is to develop products that have the most wholesome and powerful impact on the lives of consumers. That's another powerful statement. So be thinking about other strong benefit statements. It could be something you overhear on a call like this one. It could be something you read about. It could be something you hear from from your clients, some feedback, some testimonials. It could be someone that one of your fellow representatives shares at a meeting. Write down those emotionally charged benefit statements. And what you want to get in the habit of doing is sprinkling them where sprinkling them into your conversations wherever you go. And when that happens, when you do that, the law of attraction will work for you when you're going to share the benefits of your products. You're going to be drawing people to you. Now, it goes without saying that everything that you state, every statement that you make, needs to be authentic, it needs to be real, and it needs to be true. But I know you know that. Just take what's true, and there's so much here that's true, and get in the habit of sharing it in a way that will paint pictures for your customers. Now, Katie, I'd like to take any questions that you have, or is there anything you want to add to this that you've experienced in terms of selling from this point of view? Because it strikes me as this is what you do.
I actually do this, and I wasn't sure I didn't know I was doing this. It was so well done, and I think this is such an amazing formula. If you really get this down and you really become this, and it's a part of your being, you will absolutely become so successful because your come from is such an authentic place, and you're doing it in such a way that you care so deeply for these people that they feel it, they know it, they know that you are really looking out for them because you know the products, you've got their best, you've got their back, you've got their best, they're them, I guess.
Very interesting. You're
Yeah,
working
I've
for
got
them.
their
You're their
interest
advocate.
at
Yeah.
heart. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I feel like this is just such this isn't one of those tapes, I mean, that recorded tapes that they're going to be listening to over and over again and really get it down and make it just a deep part of them if it's not already a part of them. And
Yeah.
because it really, you know, will get rid of any kind of fears, I believe, that people have for that I've seen with so many people, that these fears of selling, because it's not even about that, really.
Really.
It's
Yeah.
so much more. It's and I always know that that was a big thing, and that benefits, share the benefits, and this has really inspired me to go through our PowerPoints and truly just share the benefits, and of course you can have the features and the small print, but the benefits are what are going to, you're right, that are going to emotionally get them excited and involved in the product, right?
Indeed.
So
Yeah.
I think that
Just
this is going to be
yeah.
so helpful for.
Exactly. So being just leading with the benefits and the solutions that the products represent, and then simply providing the answers to questions that they ask, any concerns they share, and let go of the outcome of it, knowing that eventually and through this process you will gain their trust, their respect, and become the person to go to
Right.
as someone they can get an honest response from, and they know that you're looking out for them. It's a safe place for them to go. So,
Right, right.
yeah.
And I think that's the type of integrity that I see with the people coming into Simply Young. It's really lovely to see that. And, I see as they're changing and they're growing, and they're becoming this way that they actually truly are evolving on such a level that, like you were saying somewhere along there, where it's kind of like they will attract that. They will attract, people want what they have,
Hmm.
in a
Yep.
way that they are being.
Very attractive. Yeah. It is.
Absolutely.
So true. Yeah. Being the attraction is very very strong. It's long lasting too. Once they're attracted to you and you've gained their trust, you will become the person they go to, and it is very attractive.
Yes, I'd like to actually utilize this in our training, and so when you come in to do some training, that we could actually teach them this way, this tools that they can utilize and do some role playing, you know.
Perfect. That's a great idea.
And then they'll just absolutely know the benefits and features of every single product, so that it doesn't matter what it is, they'll be able to be the go-to person and not have that fear, and they'll be like, yeah, they own it.
That's true. Yeah, well, you come from that service heart, I call it, and you're really looking at an individual across from you with where can I serve, what can I serve. I need to find out how to serve. So I
Right.
need to ask
That's a,
questions, and I clearly need to listen with the intent to hear.
that's a very good point, Linda, because I feel that not everybody was brought up that way. I feel like actually, I think a lot of kids grew up where everything was kind of handed to them, and so they get to learn how to become of service, and I see such beautiful results from that, and we are just pure service with Simply Young, and and we're there to help share the benefits and the solutions. For so many different challenges that people have as they are growing young in their lifetime.
Yes, beautiful. Well, thank you, Katie. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much. This was fantastic. And was there anything else you'd like to share at all?
No, I have nothing else tonight, but I do certainly welcome questions if they want to post questions on the Facebook page or whatever about this topic. I love this topic. I'm always eager to share.
Oh, it's such a lovely topic, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Linda. We appreciate you so much, and we look forward to every one of your business building sessions, because you're such a wonderful coach, and the way that you coach us is in such a wonderful way that it's easy for us to adapt it into our life. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much, Katie. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, bless you, and thank you,
Okay.
and good night to everybody.
Good night.